welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be exploring Akrotiri. This is a prehistoric town located at the southern edge of Santorini. It is my favorite stop of the island bus tour that I did, so I thought it deserved its own little video. We did have a guide for the archaeological sites, so let's let the expert tell us more about what we are about to see.
This is really the visit of Akrotiri today. What are we visiting right now? Ruins of a Bronze Age town. To put it in numbers, Bronze Age goes all the way from 3000 before Christ down to almost 1100. That period, if we would be on Crete, we would call it Minoan. And so in a way we also call it here, though it's not really correct, but I still do it myself intentionally. The Bronze Age on mainland, especially late Bronze Age, we call it Mycenaean, by the way. And on Cycladic Islands where we are, we call it Cycladic. So this is a time frame, but to become a bit more specific, the date of what you see is roughly about 1600 BC, because it's the date when the volcano erupted, and all of a sudden the whole city was fully buried in ash, way above the roof, you can see now. Therefore, since the moment of the eruption and all the way through the 1960s, when Akrotiri was discovered, we had no idea what there was under the earth. Only in 1967, Professor Marinatos, who was Greek, with very long experience, working on Crete a lot during the pre- and post-war years, he had developed a theory which in a very simple way was saying that the eruption of Santorini's volcano had ended the Minoan culture of Crete at that time. In case you're familiar with the palace of Knossos, the big palace there, he was believing that. And that was his motivation to get here and start digging back in 1967. We're not very sure if it was like that, if this eruption was the reason for Crete, for the end of Crete, I mean. But there's no doubt that we found something very close to the Minoan palaces, with frescoes, with ceramic, with the architecture which is similar and sewer systems in the town. And all of what we are familiar with from Crete, it shows also in this little town.
The tour around the site was so cool, you guys. You're able to see clearly the foundations and framework of the buildings and the city's outline. Some of the buildings are up to 3 stories high, and there is evidence of a working bathroom on the upper levels, which is quite advanced technology in the Bronze Age when electricity isn't even a thing. I mean, even iron isn't a thing yet. And one of the favorite things that I saw in the site is these large pottery pots left on site. It is a great example that the city used to be full of color and design. Archaeologists did recover some amazing frescoes, also known as wall paintings, now stored in museums, that added to the world of color in Minoan society. The frescoes also painted the picture that this society was advanced for its age because it was able to have the luxury of having artists in their society versus more practical jobs for survival, such as being a hunter or a farmer.
So apparently this is apparently this is the house that had the toilet on the 3rd floor, which is actually quite impressive in those days.
At this point, how windows and door frames have been reinforced with concrete, mais le luxe d'avoir le toilette au premier étage, c'est vraiment unique. En plus,
Alright, so now we're going down to ground level where we would have walked through the town back in the day, which is really, really nice. I like this. So through there, that's the path through town.
Right now we are on the square of the triangle. The street I told you earlier when we started the tour, we start from here and take it back to the exit. It's this one, if you look down. It's the one we have named after the building we were focusing on earlier through its restroom. It's the one we named out of the Admiral, or frequently always. Here's the fleet. Undoubtedly, something big in the town.
First I wasn't even sure if we could.
After walking past, you get to see on your right hand side 3 beds are made of plaster that has been injected. And we are continuing the walk to the exit.
So we just finished a nice tour here in Akrotiri and it was really nice. I loved walking right where they used to walk in the streets. It's just really cool here. And there's so much more to dig up. So this is just a small little part of this ancient little town.
And that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in Athens for my next video. And remember to always wander with awe.